G'day guys, Peter from Team Low Range 4x4 here, and I'm going to put my hand up straight away, and in fact I'm going to put two hands up and say, look, I've made a mistake. I've made a massive mistake, error. I ignored all the red flags and warning signs, but I continue to do what I did, and that has resulted in damage to my Avenger Kings awning with LED light strips. So, well, take a look at the footage yourselves and then we'll discuss it. Alright, let's turn on the LED light strip and see what kind of difference this makes. It's extremely windy, and if I had to cook right now, the biggest things is onto my awning. What events transpired for it to end up in this situation? I was actually heading down Yarra Road to a location I've used in the past for filming, and I really had it set in my mind that I was going to do this, and this location was perfect. Never even thinking, what about if someone was camping there or some other scenario come up, or even if Yarra Road was closed. These contingency plans I didn't even think of. Now, it was getting quite late, and of course that means the pressure is on to get everything done before the sun sets, so to speak. You may or may not have found yourself in that particular situation, but when you are trying to race the clock, when you are trying to get everything done before the sun sets, well, you know, you start to make mistakes. You can make mistakes, not saying everyone does, but you definitely try to rush and beat the clock. And this is where you can find mistakes in actually not setting things up properly. That's where that comes into play. So here is the problem, really. At the end of the day, I had pushed on to a different location that happened to be a giant rock platform. Yes, there's a few shrubs and a little bit of bush action going on here, but nothing that you can actually stick a peg into, and I realized that quite quickly when I arrived. I did try and ignore the warning signs that the wind was increasing and go by trying to weight down the both legs of the awning and hoping for the best. But hoping for the best doesn't usually end in the best results. So obviously the best situation here was to move on. But moving on isn't always front of mind, especially if you've had a hard day out the tracks, you're exhausted and looking forward to cracking that tinny in the afternoon, or getting dinner on for that matter. So really, you just want the camping experience to get over and done with. And that was kind of the state of mind I had with filming. And even though I could clearly see it wasn't a great idea, I pushed through. And sometimes we do that. You be in a location camping and you push through, and it's probably not a great idea. And that's what happened to me. It's led to the result of damage to my Avenger Kings awning, and I really shouldn't have had to find myself in this situation. So, two reasons why I'm making this video. The first is to put my hand up and say, look, I make mistakes too. I want to be as transparent as possible. And the other is to take a couple of steps back and just go and reassess. Is this location suitable? I think all that's left really now is to have a quick look at the damage that was caused in those two incidences. Let's have a look right now. Alright guys, we've reached the end here. In a nutshell, any unavoidable damage is disappointing, and of course I'm extremely disappointed and a little embarrassed and all those kinds of things, but happy to put my hand up, as I've said before, and accept the responsibility of not actually listening to what the environment was telling me and that it wasn't a great idea. And as I said earlier in the video, if something similar has happened to you, please, I'd love to hear it. No shaming, no nothing. I just want to know how prolific or not prolific people are at, you know, making those little areas just like I have. It's just to get a conversation started, nothing else really, of course. And of course, I will continue on by asking, if you haven't jumped on board, please do. Yes, I really do appreciate it. We really do appreciate it. And thumbs up and sharing the story around, please. It would really help us out and also get the story out for others who may feel a bit silly that something like that has occurred to them as well. All right, guys. Also, just before we go, just before, postscript style, PS, you know, that video that I was filming in that particular failure of all failures, in my opinion, it was about LED camping lights, and I have shelved the idea at the moment. But if you'd like to see that video, hopefully not with that bit and pieces in it, let us know in the comments also, because I'm more than happy to go out and remake it and try and do it right. So that's my final little bit there, and I also want to thank every single person who has made it to the end of this video, because these videos can waffle on a little bit more than they usually should. All right, I'm Peter from Team Low Range 4x4. I'll catch you in the next one.